Have you ever wondered how some websites have incredibly smooth mouse animations like this? Well, today I'm going to show you one way to create these beautiful on mouse movement animations. We're going to go from this to this. Let's get started. All right, to get started here, we're going to be using Next.js. So navigate over to the docs and run npx create next app in your terminal in VS Code. I already have a Next.js app initialized, but you can run npx create next app and then use these right here. These are the settings that I used. If you have trouble after it is initialized, saying that there's a permissions issue, if you're on Mac, this is common. Just run sudo npm I and it should give you all the permissions. So you should be good. So sudo npm I and then enter in your password and then you should be good. Okay, so in here we just have a basic Next.js app. If you used npx create next app, you're gonna have some boilerplate code. All I did was remove all of it and just insert a section. And then same with the layout. It is now just children, enter.classname. And then here I have all of this. And this is actually from a previous project. We're gonna do mouse position context for the metadata. So first step is we're going to create the mouse provider. So I'm just going to go in my providers folder, mouse provider. If you're wondering why I already have folders and files in here, that's because it's from a previous project, so don't worry about that. So we're going to do RFC here, mark it as a use client because we have to use effect and also use state. So we're going to import use effect, use state, use context, and create context from React. All right, now we're going to create the context. So const mouse context is equal to create context. And then we're going to do export const use mouse position is equal to an anonymous function here. Use context of mouse context. Perfect. Then in mouse provider here, children as props because it's going to be in the layout function, wrapping everything around it. Then we're going to do const mouse state, set mouse, use state, and in here the default is going to be x of 0, y 0, normalized x is 0, normalized y is also 0. So we've got the x and y in pixels, and then we're going to have normalized x and normalized y, and that is going to give us a value between -1 and 1 for the x and the y. That's going to make it a lot easier to make it responsive, and it's also going to be a lot easier to do calculations because we're just getting a value between 0 and 1. It doesn't depend on the window size. So down here we're going to do mouse context dot provider, and the value is going to be mouse state. So that is going to actually send the mouse reference to all of its children. So now we're going to use effect here, and in use effect we are going to listen to the mouse move event. So we're going to make a const on mouse move here, and we are going to set mouse to x as e.client x, then normalize x and normalized y. We're going to use these equations here. So e.client x divided by the width times 2 minus 1, and then negative client y divided by the inner height times 2 plus 1. So this is going to give us a value between 0, or not 0, -1 and 1 for the x and the y. Oh, sorry, function mouse move. We do not want, not const, function. So we're going to do window.add event listener, mouse move, and then on mouse move. And then to clean it up, the return of the use effect is going to be window.remove event listener mouse move on mouse move. Perfect. So we go in here and we log E, log E there. So I believe we have our provider here. So that is step number 1, create the provider. Step 2, wrap your children in your layout function with the provider. So we want to do mouse provider, import there, and then wrap the children here. So if I now go to npm run dev here, I just have section 1, and there we go. We have mouse event being triggered over here. I will make it nice and big so you guys can see. So now we have mouse events all triggering over there. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So the next step now is we want to start putting our components here in the page over here. So we're going to make a component. We're just going to call it mouse move component.jsx RFC, and this one is also going to be a client component. We're going to be using use effect and use ref for this one, and we're going to replace this here with our new section, mouse move component. So now we're here and we have our component. So here it's just the section with a span inside. Perfect. And then the styling for this section here is just this right here, which all you really need is the width 100%, height 100 VH, and then display flex, justify content center, align item center, and then these two here, font size 200 and font weight 600. So that is the styles for this section here, and then this span just follows those styles. All right, so I made a mistake initially using useState instead of useRef. So instead here, we're going to replace the useState with useRef, and then in onMouseMove, instead of setState, we're going to do mouseRef.current is equal to the object here, and then here I have logging mouseRef.current. As you can see here, now we are getting the pixels, which is perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. So to start, we're going to import the use mouse hook here. So we're going to do mouse ref is equal to use mouse position. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do const span ref is equal to use ref here. That is going to be right here. Span ref. And then we're going to make a use effect here. And in the use effect, we are going to do a request animation frame function that is going to loop on each frame. So first of all, we're going to do if spanref.current equals null, we want to return. Now we're going to make a function raf. We're going to do request animation frame of raf here. And then up here, we're going to do let rf. That's just going to be the request animation frame. So rf is equal to request animation frame of rf. And then, of course, we're going to clean it up below here with the return. So cancel animation frame of rf. So in here, we're going to do a lerp between the current mouse position and the target mouse position. So what we're going to do up here is do let target x is equal to 0. We're going to make 4 here. We're going to do target y. We're going to do current x, cur x, cur y. And then we're going to have 2 more variables, which is going to be lerp factor. I'm going to set that equal to 0.1. And then we're going to do const movement factor. And this is going to be how much we're going to move the span around. So I'm just going to set this at 20. So inside here, we're going to do target x is equal to mouseref.current dot normalized x. And it's going to be the same for y here. We're going to do y, y. And then now we're going to do the lerp function here, or the lerp logic. So it is going to be let dx is going to be equal to target x minus current x. So where we are versus where we want to go. So then we're going to do current x is equal or plus equals dx times lerp factor. And we're going to do this little function here. We're going to as well do that for the y. So target y, current y, dy. Awesome. So now if we, console log current x here. Oh, whoops, typo. We do not want to do request animation framework RF. We want RAF here. So let me save that, open up our DevTools here. And now, as you can see over here, we're lerping between the normalized values here. So now all we have to do is do spanref .current.style.transform is equal to backticks here. We're going to do translate, insert JavaScript, and we're going to do cur x times movement factor, insert JavaScript again. We're going to do cur y times movement factor times -1. And then both of these are going to be percents. So now, if all went right, and I refresh here, now we have final product here. The section moves around based on mouse position, and that is perfect. And what you can also do, if you want the y to move the same, you can use percents, of course, but you can also use possibly VW or pixels. I would probably prefer to use VW. So now it is going to move exactly how I want. All right, that is all for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a comment down below suggesting any current videos or any suggestions for this video. That'll be all for today. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.